a awesome guest, Leah Merriweather. Did I say it right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. I know you're into vibrational healing and other things, but you can tell us all about yourself. But wait just a minute. What kind
Mhm.
of tea are you drinking?
I am drinking chai spice black tea,
Ooh.
and it
And
is really good. And you know what I did with it too? I added a little almond milk to it, or almond creamer,
yes,
to get that English tea feel.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Anything chai does it for me. I don't know. It's that little spice thing going on.
Yeah,
It
same.
is
Mhm.
absolutely delicious. Now, for me, I am drinking Puka Womenkind tea. And it's
Ooh,
wonderful. I mean, it's got cranberry, roses, and some exotic vanilla. I love cranberries for the kidneys and things like that. And rose and the aromatic flavors and vanilla, how delicious that is. But you know what? Consult your doctor or herbalist to make sure this fits in your health regimen. So,
mhm.
just happy to have you here. Today's topic is I want me back. Midlife transition back to me.
Mhm.
So, I'm just going to dive right in. Leah, tell us a little bit about yourself. Now, I know I've met you at Clubhouse and you are just fabulous. So I just want to say that on the front
Oh,
end.
it takes fabulous to know fabulous.
Ah, cheers. but just tell us a little bit about your background and like that. Yes.
Absolutely. And thank you for asking. I am Leah Merriweather, and my background is I'm currently in Georgia, but I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I've been here for about 6 years, and I enjoy it. I left Detroit because I wanted, number one, I wanted change, and number two, I was looking for warmer weather, and I noticed that it was actually more to this move than just that. And so I moved here, and I when I moved here, I was married, and I ended up going through a divorce. And it sparked a second wave in my life of change. So let me backtrack a little bit. I grew up in a very religious household,
Mm,
and my dad was a minister, and I grew up with a lot of restrictions. So when I became of age to pick a career, I picked civil engineering, and I became an engineer. I know now I did this, but I didn't know I did it at the time. Out of rebellion, you know.
got it. Got it. Yep. 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 Do it for the parents. Do it or
Yeah,
do it in
yeah,
spite of.
yeah. Although my dad he was very proud, he was very proud of me and all of that. It was just like rebellion of the system that says a woman can't do it.
Yep.
So I was a proud STEM girl, and I can do whatever a dude can do, that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yep.
So then that leads me to because I wanted to be a professional dancer growing up, and I wasn't allowed to do that because I was not allowed to dance. That was sin, that was against God. So I went and said,
Mm.
do something that you think I can't do.
Oh.
So yeah. So needless to say, I didn't even like it. But
Oh my
I,
gosh.
right, you get into something you don't even like. But I do like the idea of knowing how things work. And that is, one of the things that I have a passion for, figuring out how something works. So we had a saying in engineering that says, um, architects make it pretty, engineers make it work.
Wow.
So,
Got it.
yeah.
Got
Yeah.
it. I have the question because you're coming off of a divorce, you're moving to warmer territory. So I mean, how did you find yourself? Because this, the topic is, you want you back. So I know coming off a divorce, how challenging that is. I've been divorced twice, so and you have to, create yourself. But how did you know you were lost?
Oh my goodness. I can't say when I got out of the divorce, because it was my second divorce as well.
Gotcha.
I would say that in it. I knew that I was. I knew that I was not, I was living a life for everyone around me except me.
Got it.
Even though I did do the things that I wanted to, but the things that I wanted to do was based on everyone else. Is that, if that makes sense? Like I didn't,
Absolutely.
yes, yes, I didn't make decisions solely upon my own purpose and inner being. It was, okay, I'm making this decision because I have, all of, and it's not really the truth of what you want. And it
True.
isn't the truth of who you are. It's your circumstance that you're yielding to.
Yes.
So yeah. So that's, I knew in it that I was, especially when that feeling where you don't feel free,
Yes.
if you
Yes.
know things like, and all of your decisions that you make are based upon everyone around you except you,
Wow.
and you don't even realize that that is actually what's happening, because
Mm.
you're conditioned to think a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And there's the keeping up with the Joneses, the past, like they want it to look the same way from the past when we're in a whole different world, different circumstances, and it's unrealistic that
yeah,
that it would look like from the past, because each as the world moves forward, things are changing. So shall you. But
yeah,
how did you give away your power? I mean, I know, I understand, but that's really like giving away your power, isn't it?
100%.
Gotcha.
Absolute spot on. And at this time, like in my first marriage, I didn't know anything about tools and inner work and yoga, meditation. I didn't know. So I was just this person, just extremely overwhelmed, suffering with anxiety.
Wow.
Didn't even know I was suffering with anxiety until I wasn't anymore. And I
Wow.
was like, oh, so that's what that was.
Got that? Yes. It's off, but I can't figure why.
Exactly, exactly. And that being your normal state of frequency. So when you get
Ah,
into of rest and peace, what I would do was create more anxiety. Like I would say, oh, this isn't normal, but I didn't know I was doing that. That is the key.
yes.
Until later on in life when I began to do the inner work, and the yoga and meditation has played a big part in my healing journey.
So that's part of, you would say, reclaiming your personal power, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And so what would that look like when you're reclaiming your personal power? I think first you got to get clear with
Mhm.
you know who you are, you know because if you gave away your power, you know reclaiming your power is first getting clear, who are you at this point, not from the past, not from anywhere. What did that look like for you? Now I can speak for myself.
Mhm.
It looked like getting some self-development and training.
Mhm.
What did it
Mhm.
look like for you?
For me, it looked the same way until the self-development hit a wall. And what I mean
Mm,
by that is I knew that there was a layer beyond that
got
I
it.
didn't quite know how to get to, but my path, my journey led me to it. And that was the deep, deep inner and shadow work. You
Please
know, I
explain.
mhm, mhm. You say explain?
Yes, deeper. I love it.
Okay, awesome. So you know how you see a meme that has the tip of the iceberg and it says anger,
Yes.
and then underneath that iceberg is all of the things that built up to that anger.
Yes.
You know, unworthiness, trauma, resentment, all of these things under there led up to the anger. So I
Mm,
always say, whatever you're experiencing in the moment, that's the tip of the iceberg.
mm-hmm.
What is underneath all of that? So I could have been angry at my ex-husband all day long for saying something to me that I didn't agree with. But what is underneath that anger? Was
Wow.
I resenting him for something? If I was resenting him for something, where did the resentment start? What was the original blueprint of that resentment? Because it all shows up in our everyday life. What we are experiencing is internal.
Yes.
So the event is happening. Somebody could look at the event and have no emotion at all, and then someone else is feeling all these type of emotions. That's because within you there are considerations and beliefs and conditions that cause that anger at the tip of the iceberg.
That,
So that's what shadow work is.
is looking underneath
Mm-hmm.
what is, like, let's say the head of something, even though
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
at the top of something, there's
Yeah.
so much underneath, and you
Yeah.
just don't even look at it.
You don't even look at it. And I'll tell you what, one of mine was, I'm just gonna be honest, I didn't like men.
Wow. Wow. Got it.
And I didn't even know that I
Wow.
didn't.
And
So,
what does that look like? Because
mhm.
hey, not every day's a good day for a man because he can be a pain in the butt. Let's just go. Not to man bash or anything. I'm just saying, just not working with you.
Yeah,
And then eventually you're like, you know what? That's enough of that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
How I realized that is from childhood when I would see, because again, a strict religion. So
Hmm.
who's
Hmm.
the head of religion? A whole bunch of men. And as I'm a child, I'm sitting here looking at, so where's the women? Where's the woman's part? And I'm hearing and I'm seeing. I didn't quite see this 100% in my household, but I saw some of it where, the man is the head of the household. And so he's the head of the church. He's the head of everything. And the women are like in this corner and they can't be pastors. They can't be these things. And, they're silent in the church and they don't have a voice. And I always will ask myself, what is the prize? Like, what is the prize of getting a man? Because that's what it looked like to me as a child.
Yes.
But I didn't see no prize. All I
Mhm.
saw was a whole bunch of work. So I'm being honest.
You're being straight. I hear it loud and clear. Yes.
So that's one of my points where I knew I could not involve myself in another relationship until I healed that part of me.
Absolutely. Ah,
Yes.
I love it. Yeah, that is a very important point because, it could go on and on and on. You'll get married, you get divorced, you
Yeah.
get married and divorced, and then you cannot quite point at, you're clear it's their fault. You're very clear. It's definitely their fault. I'm very clear. And then you realize, wait a minute, the only common denominator is me.
There
So
you
I
that
guess it was me. Yeah,
that
like, yeah, I
yeah,
totally get it. Like I point at all the time that I have this wonderful formula of being a demanding Delilah. I want
yeah,
this, I want that, and I expect a man to deliver on that. Okay.
right,
Only problem is he didn't sign up for that.
right. There,
That's the only problem.
yeah,
So then I
yeah,
realized, well, maybe that's not a healthy way of doing a relationship. Maybe there's
yes,
another way, and to go that way. Lovely. I really got that.
yeah.
So where are you now? Like on your journey back to you?
Oh, you know what? I am really, really embracing my purpose.
Hmm.
I am allowing myself to show up.
Oh,
Hmm.
wow.
Hmm. Yes, and I am honoring what it is that I want and what it is that I do not want.
Wow.
And that's a point blank period. I am no longer, because I'm at a point now where I, you know how you hear what other people want and other people desire and require. It is not necessarily in alignment with you, but you will do all these mental acrobats and
Yeah.
you know,
Twist into
all
a
of the
pretzel, like just really make it work for them.
exactly, to honor what the other person wants, but it's out of alignment with what you want. I am so beyond that right now. I,
Mm,
I'm at this point. You know what? I hear you, but that does not work for me.
got that.
Yep.
Wow. Do you feel like you've got that level of clarity because you're in midlife, or do you feel like through all the shadow work and all the mirror work I assert, because you have to look yourself in the eye when you're saying all
Hmm.
this, that you're clear that your purpose is to honor yourself now?
Yeah, I feel it's both.
Okay, got it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I feel both because I do feel once you get to midlife, there is a level of wisdom that
Mm-hmm.
with that. But with me also adding on top of that the inner work, it just creates a whole different type of vibe. And you're
Yeah.
in a new space, it's not the space of resentment. It's not like, oh girl, don't do that because when I did it, it's such
Mm-hmm.
it's not that part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's the part that says, you know what, I'm honoring myself, and I am going to call myself out. I'm going to be accountable
Huh.
for my own stuff. It's a completely different view on life.
Powerful. I got that.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of falls under the umbrella that I'm hearing is owning all your stuff. Owning
Yep.
it. It's not a
Own it.
concept. It's not a, and it's no shade on someone else. It's just being true and honoring yourself and what matters to you moving
Yeah.
forward as
Yeah.
reclaim your personal power, because that sounds like what's there is your
Yes.
personal power.
Yeah.
Is there some way you came to these, let's say, core values? Because they sound like core values. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, you know what? Good. It's a good thing you brought up core values because, I never identified them until,
Mm.
I never knew because, so it's like, how can you even have um, a foundation set for your life when you don't even know what you value?
Mm.
That's part of the inner work too.
Got it.
Knowing what you value and knowing what you won't allow into your life and into your experience. To answer your question, yes, core values was a big part of that. And on top of that, looking at my life and seeing where I'm not honoring my core value.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
I can't say that this is my core value when I'm not honoring it.
Yeah.
Then I'm not, you can't honor your core value. You don't know the truth of you.
Mm.
So if if there are areas in your life where you're not looking at where am I not honoring my values, if you're not looking at that, the idea of creating core values is a waste of time.
Mm. Yeah.
It's it is really rewriting your own program,
Wow.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
because we're conditioned from so many different places, parents, society, church, religions, and this and that. And then all these conditionings we take in, but what is really ours?
I hear what you're saying. It's like
Hmm.
that we inherit all these different ideas and philosophies and
Hmm.
all this, and not really clear. Well, what's my ideas? What's my philosophy?
Hmm.
What matters to me? Like
Yes,
that. So
yes.
I definitely hear that's some work that definitely, if you want you back, you're gonna have to do
Hmm.
some of that work.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
And
Yes,
the question is, did you see setting boundaries as part of it, or no, not really?
I did. Yes. My idea to boundaries is that you need them until you don't.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? Is to practice them until you don't need them anymore. So I'll give you an example. Um, if let me see where I set a boundary. Um, set a boundary around my children. Like, you know,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
um,
mm-hmm.
you know, disallowing, you know, the use of my car for, a certain amount of time. So I'll set a boundary around that until I no longer need the boundary.
Yes.
So it's like the boundary assists you in growing within yourself
Yeah.
until you have released whatever it is. And now you could take off the boundary. And usually when that happens, it either goes away, or if it doesn't, you don't even care about it anymore.
Yes.
It works.
Yeah, I am with you. When it comes to boundaries, especially in dating for me, it's I have it that you should not be swinging from branch to branch or
Hmm.
person to person. One of
Hmm.
my boundaries is I need to stop, reevaluate, and heal from whatever transpired. So when I move forward, I'm moving forward, not handing baggage to the next person. Just don't see the value. I mean, so
I hear
that's a boundary I put up for sure. Yeah.
I yes, absolutely. Good one too.
Yeah. Because it just makes so much sense. So I'm going to ask you, what do you do for healing yourself and, reclaiming your personal power at this
Mhm.
point? Yes.
Mm. So, I'm a yoga instructor as well as a meditation leader and an energy healing or energy medicine, as some people call it, practitioner.
Mm.
So I do a lot of meditation. I meditate daily. Um, I do a lot of contemplating on situations, or seeing how I could have done something differently, or, and I do a lot of healing, like lots of releasing and letting go of things. And one of my specialties is quantum healing.
Hmm.
With quantum healing, I assist people in releasing like abundance blocks, things that are stuck. And what I call abundance is the flow of our life force energy. So, our life force is the subtle energy that runs through us. It's not our breath. Our breath supports our life force. So, if you place your hands together, you will feel some energy coming in between, your hands, the palms of your hands. That's subtle energy. That's our life force, or prana, or chi.
Mhm.
And when that is running fully and freely through us, then we are out of the realm of sickness. We are out of the realms of depression. We are in the realms of bliss and joy. When that isn't running fully and freely, it means it's charging up blocks. So I call the
Wow.
abundance flow. And when it's not flowing freely, the blocks are being charged by that flow. So, what I assist people in doing in life is releasing those blocks. And it happens across all time and space, which means we are carrying, little do we know, the energy of our ancestors
Yes.
and what they didn't heal.
Hello, hello.
So we're carrying that and experiencing it. So when we stand up to say, "Hey, I'll be the one to help you out," and
Hmm. Hmm.
then we release it now, but it's helping them. It's releasing from the whole generation of our family. So across all time, dimensions, and space, it's like we are not only helping us, we're helping our children, our sisters, our brothers when we do this type of work. So, yeah, so I assist people with.
Awesome. Oh, I love it. It sounds like releasing blocks
Mhm.
from the past, or and actually creating a clearing for the future, which is where
Yes.
where you stand. And wow, I that's powerful. Practice that people can do every day, and how can they get a hold of you and
Mhm.
reach out to you for some guidance and some healing work.
Well, absolutely. So, my website, Vibe High with Leah is one way. to get in contact with me. Instagram, I'm at VHW Leah, so that's Leah. So it's by Pie with Leah, but it's initial. I have my other page, VHWLEAH, so it's by Pie with Leah. So I can reach there, and also a daily practice that people can do that is very easy. It doesn't take long. It can be as long as you want it to be, but it doesn't take long at all, but it's to open the heart. So step one is to take your conscious awareness to your heart. So you can place your hand on your heart, because our conscious awareness goes to the place of touch on our bodies. And then you slow down your breathing to 4 counts inhale and 4 counts exhale. And when we slow down our breathing, we activate or turn on the parasympathetic nervous system. And we're letting our body know that we are safe.
Wow.
Yes. So step 3 is to go to a place of care, gratitude. Maybe it's your pet that you care about. Maybe you just care about the earth. Maybe it's a person or a place or a thing that you are grateful for, you appreciate, that you care about. When you do this, it's an automatic shift in your vibration. And it opens up your heart. And you're probably going to feel your heart space open. And if you don't, that's okay. That's okay.
Gotcha.
There's no wrong way to do this. And you can stay in that place as long as you choose. You can do it anywhere. If you have to go inside your job, if you're, at your desk working and you say, okay, let me just take a break. And you can do it for a few moments and it shifts your vibration. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for giving us something we could take away and
Yes.
practice right now. But
Yes.
I just want to thank you for coming and spending time having a good cup of tea. My cup says, let your light shine. And
See,
Leah,
look,
thank you.
there
You're
you go.
definitely letting your light shine and
Yes.
sharing with everyone how they can let their light shine as well. But if you want to get a hold of Leah Merriweather, her information will be in the show notes. So look forward to chatting again. And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.